So there's a lot of mixed feelings about AI out there, and a lot of people think it's coming for their job. And to be perfectly honest with you, there are a lot of fields where if you don't embrace AI, you are going to be left behind. But what about woodworking? So if you follow my channel, you're used to seeing me with a miter saw, table saw, bandsaw, all that stuff. Today's gonna be a little different. Today, you're gonna see my screen. Because what I'm gonna do today is show you 5 ways that woodworkers, whether you are a beginner or you're advanced, doesn't matter, how you can utilize AI. And I'm not saying AI is going to replace woodworking in any way, but I'm saying that it can be used as a tool to help make your job easier. So let's start with the simplest and work our way up through 5 ways that every woodworker can use AI. So I figure we're just going to dive into the easiest, most direct ways to use ChatGPT first, or any other AI that you're using, honestly, and then we'll kind of work up to more advanced techniques. Now, when most people think about AI, or when most people use AI, they're using it kind of like Google. And you know what? That's not the end of the world here. So if I was going to go on here and I'm in ChatGPT, and I could look up something different like, or something simple like, what is the difference between hardwoods and softwoods? I could go with something simple like that. And you're like, hey, I could Google that. You could. AI tends to get into a little bit more detail, but talks about hardwoods come from deciduous trees, softwoods come from conifers, and it works its way through. And it doesn't just give me a simple answer, it goes into some detail here. It's talking about examples of each, characteristics, why you might want to choose one over the other here. Important notes, some hardwoods are actually soft like balsa, some softwoods are quite hard like yew. And then it's going through some comparisons here, and it's even showing me pictures. This is a lot more than just a quick Google result. I'll show you 1 or 2 more here. What if we did something like, what is the best wood for outdoor projects? And look at this. For outdoor projects, the best wood depends on weather resistance, budget, appearance, and whether it touches the ground. So right off the bat, not just boom, here's an answer, but it talks about Western red cedar, best all around, talks about things it can be used for, pros and cons. Pressure treated pine, obviously best budget option, a little bit cheaper than the cedar, and it just goes through and it looks at different projects you could use these for. White oak as the best hardwood for outdoors. It may have done that because I had just asked about hardwoods versus softwoods. I'm honestly not sure because you never know what you're going to get here. Teak, cypress. And again, just a quick little note here says, depending on what you're working on, here's some different options. And I'll do one more here, just a simple one. What grit should I sand before staining wood? All right, here we go. Rule of thumb, most projects start at 120 to 150. Talks about your progression here. Then talks about the difference between softwoods and hardwoods. When not to go too fine. So again, it goes into more than just your quick Google response. It's giving me a bit of information. So that's step 1. That's what anybody can be using this for. Quick answers to basic questions. It works out nicely. Now let's go a little more detailed here. What if I wanted to use it to help me plan a project or come up with some details before I even touch a tool? Just sitting there at the computer coming up with some stuff. So let me try something different here. I'll go, please design, say please and thank you to ChatGPT. That way if robots ever take over the world, maybe they will go easy on you. Please design a beginner friendly, let's go, farmhouse bench using, let's say 2x4s. 2x4 lumber. So right now it's trying to put an image together. So sometimes you have to be very detailed with what you're looking for. I said help design it, so it went through image. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to give me, if it's just going to be a straight picture of the project, if it's going to have measurements, or what it's going to be. But I can tweak that search after it gives me this. So I'll give it a second to pull up the image here, and we'll talk about ways that you can change it. And while it's doing that, I just want to point out most people think about AI as like advanced robotics and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, AI can be quite advanced, but it's not like there's a robot running the miter saw or running the table saw here. So, this is what it created. Farmhouse bench, beginner friendly, made with 2x4 lumber, and it goes through, has the length of the pieces, has them all planned out here, even shows you images, put together a cut list. This is, again, a bit more than a Google result right here would be. So I think that's pretty cool. And then there's ways you can obviously modify the search. I could say, what if I have 2x6 lumber? Or can you change it from 48 inches to 36 inches? And it will go through and it'll make those changes for you. Let's do another one. What about something just... I want to make a 6-foot coffee table out of 2x6 lumber. Can you create a cut list for me? All right, 2x6 lumber. Assume simple farmhouse style. That's beginner friendly, sturdy, and uses dimensional lumber without complicated joinery. Finished length 72 inches by 27.5-ish, 5 boards wide, 18 inches high, 7 2x6x8 boards, 2.5-inch pocket screws, optional glue. It talks about the sanding progression, finish of choice, and then it goes through how many boards of what size, goes into all the detail. Even went through and it gave me the assembly order and some tips here. Buy straight boards, obviously, if you can find them. Alternate growth rings, tabletop, smile frown pattern to reduce cupping. So this is getting us some pretty good detail here. Actually, well, if you look at the bottom here, since ChatGPT knows me a little bit, it says this actually feels like a project that would fit your channel really well. Build a 6-foot farmhouse coffee table with only 2x6s. So hey, maybe I'll shoot that video if I remember. So just another simple example there. So now I'm going to move on to a third one, which is problem solving in the shop. And this is where ChatGPT kind of becomes like having a helper. So I'm trying to think of a problem I've run into with my students or something. Let's go with, this one's pretty common. All right, my miter saw, or my miter, how do I want to word this? My miter joints have gaps. How can I fix this problem? I know I'm using periods and capitalization. You probably don't really need to do that too much with ChatGPT. But here we go. All right, so if the outside corner is open, pointy joints don't touch right there. Shows you the picture here. Usually means angles more than 45 degrees. Workpiece shifted during cut. Fence blades not square. Talks about how to fix it, even reducing the angle slightly, because you never know if your miter saw is quite at 45 unless you do test it. And then it says if its inside corners open, your angle's less than 45, and talks about things you can do. If there's a gap from top to bottom, blade's not vertical. So it is basically looking, okay, here's all the different ways your blade could be defective depending on which way it is not sitting properly, and it has all these solutions that I could do to try to fix it. Here's another one we deal with a lot. I keep getting tear out when I cut plywood. What did I spell wrong there? Tear out? There we go. Any suggestions? All right, super common. I've seen this one before, and I've actually used this one before, putting the tape on it. Excuse me. Use the right blade, biggest improvement. There are lots of different table saw blades, and I notice most people just buy a general one and use that all the time. So it could make a difference. Talks about using the tape on there. Good face up, circular saw, good face down. Use painter's tape to cut the lines. Score the cut first. Excellent for visible edges. Use the sacrificial backer board. Zero clearance inserts, which I need to make one of those soon. Slow down. That's a huge one that makes a big difference. Let the blade do the work. Don't force it through. And then talks about, okay, here's the suggestions they have for trying to fix the problem. So this is obviously very handy. Let's move on to number 4 here, which is Now, I know this video is a little different than what you're used to seeing from me, but I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, make sure you like, subscribe. Let's get back to it. Content creation for makers and people looking to sell stuff. So let's go back up. So it remembers everything in my chat here. So let's kind of tie two things together here. I'm going to say, I would like to make and sell that table design you created for me. Can you help me with creating an Etsy description so I can post it for sale? All right. Etsy title, SEO friendly, handmade 6-foot farmhouse coffee table, solid wood roasted coffee. Etsy description, bring warmth and character into your home. Not something I would have thought of to start my writing. ChatGPT apparently is a better writer than I am. And then it talks about the features here, goes through your dimensions, finish options. Each table is unique, processing and shipping. It tells you the tags to use. One additional thought for Etsy, if you're actually shipping these, seriously consider offering a knockdown version, which makes a lot of sense, obviously, because it's a big table. I could do something similar. What about a Facebook Marketplace listing? Ignore all the spelling mistakes. It knows what I mean. All right, go a little different. Buyers usually scan fast, care more about dimensions, price, pickup, and can I trust this person? So more to the point, very direct with the titles. Built by hand, real wood, which is rare these days. So that's a strong selling point. So they put that in there really early. Covers the dimensions, features, color options. Short version if you want to make it concise. Photo order that usually works well. Talks about what to do here. Should you use that image you created to make a photo for the listing? I don't know if it'll do this one. Let's see. Oh, and it is working on creating the image. So as you can see here, this is something that you can use. If you are selling stuff, you can use it to make your Etsy ads, your Facebook Marketplace ads, whatever you're doing. At this point, it's basically becoming like a business partner, except you're not really paying it like a business partner. Now, I use the paid version of ChatGPT, so I can basically use it as much as I want. And I think that's $20 a month I'm paying. But you can use it for free. You just get cut off after a certain amount of time where you can't do quite as much stuff with it. And you don't have to use ChatGPT. There's tons of AI options out there, but boom, look at that picture it just created. So this would be what you would put, for Marketplace or Etsy, whatever it is. As long as you can make the table look like that, you're in good shape. So last one I want to talk about here. I said I'd get a little more advanced as we go through, and that is basically custom project design. So I had this idea. I'm going to make a video on this. Don't steal my idea. I want to make a Minecraft style birdhouse out of 1.5 inch cubes. Can you help me design it? And I didn't capitalize I. I'm getting sloppy here. I'm typing a lot. So again, it's going right to an image here. Again, sorry. I never know if you're going to get just an image for the design or it's going to have the measurements. It seems like it's really giving me measurements for everything, so it kind of knows what I'm going for here. So this is just one option I had. I could also do things, change Minecraft to something else, change Minecraft to sports themes or characters from a show or movie, something like that. So setting the scene, it's working its way through. And I was told that you can say, like, please hurry up and things like that, but then the quality goes down. But honestly, if you have to wait a couple of minutes here for it to give you a really good image, I don't really see what the big deal is. Everybody's all about immediate gratification. So here it is. And this is what it just came up with. Now, it's not really the vision I had in my head. I kind of know what I'm going for. But Minecraft-style birdhouse made out of 1.5 inch cubes. And look, it even talks about how many of each color cube you need to make it the way that they have it. So this thing went into a lot of detail. And just because I did a simple search there. So it helped me come up with that design. Try one more here. If I said something like, I have a 10-foot by 20-foot garage. Can you help me come up with a plan for it? Question mark. Don't get sloppy. I have a miter saw, table saw, bandsaw, I don't know, and a belt sander. Let's see what it comes up with here. All right, actually a really good workspace, optimized. So it laid out a few different pictures there, drawing there. Layout goal, lumber, breakdown, milling, cutting, assembly, sanding, and finishing. Back wall, 20-foot wall, miter saw section, storage, miter saw storage. You see, kind of laid it out here. Ideas, 24-inch deep bent, flip up wings, and it goes through all that stuff. In the center, table saw, which makes sense. Target, how big you want it to be, in feed and out feed. Left wall, to give me some ideas here. Bandsaw, belt sander, clamp storage. Put these on mobile bases, which I'm trying to do for everything in my garage as it is. White wall, talking about basically having your storage over there, so it's going above and beyond what I told it I had for tools. It's saying, okay, you need to be able to store the wood you're working with also. If no dust collection, then you can have this stuff here. Suggested dimensions for each of the different things, and then talks about what they would prioritize. So right now, I would love to know your honest thoughts. Do you think AI has any place in woodworking, or do you think all the stuff I just showed you is just woodworkers giving up their creativity and giving up their thinking? Because I am not only a woodworker, but I am a shop teacher. So I'm in a very interesting spot here where I know students want to use AI and they're being encouraged to for a lot of their classes. But at the same time, I'm trying to discourage them from using it too much, because the truth is, depending completely on AI is making people stupider. We're not thinking, we're just letting it do all the thinking for us. So I'm in no way saying, hey, use AI for everything. But what I am saying is that it's not something to be scared of. I do not think it's going to replace woodworkers anytime soon, but I do think that if you are trying to do woodworking to make money, or if you are a woodworker and you're having trouble solving certain problems, you shouldn't be scared to try it out. Because honestly, the stuff I just showed you, it can be helpful. Just don't become so reliant on it that you stop using your head.